I have been discussing the April 2nd, quote unquote, doomsday, where so many people are so afraid of this April 2nd date, because this is supposedly the date in which case the idea is that Trump is going to impose retaliatory tariffs on lots of different nations. Now, the reason I say that's quote unquote doomsday is because a lot of the news headlines are pointing to this April 2nd as like the end of the world, that the stock market's going to crash. But what we see in markets, and I have been slamming my fist on the table with this concept because everybody seems to be ignoring this. The put to call ratio screams, that this market is all bearish, right? So many people are so scared. Everybody is concerned that this is going to be the day. Everybody's eye is focused over here, but you can't look where everybody else is looking, right? Everybody's so focused on that April 2nd date. Meanwhile, what's the market doing? The market's showing you signs that it's trying to bottom out. Is that a guarantee that it goes higher? No. But I've said this for the last week or so. I think the low is already in for the S&P 500, at least for the foreseeable future. Like for the next few weeks, I would be surprised if this market tanks through the lows. Could it happen? Of course it can. I'm not a crystal ball fortune teller, but my probability thinking, right, my educated guess is that we've bottomed out. And I've been saying that since over here. Like, I really think that we have started to bottom out, because what the market often does is it looks at these big events and it sells off first, right? It says, oh my gosh, that is the end of the world over there. We need to sell now, sell, right? That's what it does. And then what happens is that as the date gets closer, the worst case fears that everybody was fearing over here don't seem to be coming to fruition. On Friday, Trump mentioned the word flexibility. He mentioned flexibility on some specific tariffs. He was pressed in a conference about, the upcoming deadline, and he said there would be some flexibility. Any kind of quote unquote flexibility or resolution, this market is going to cheer, because if there's flexibility, it's not going to be the worst case scenario that everybody has feared. Again, I am pounding my fist on the table with this because it's something that happens over and over in markets. People get so scared and they sell everything, and that can leave opportunities to buy that fear. So that is why I am looking for more upside on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. I've been buying stock shares. I'm looking for a long position on the NAS and the S&P 500. And I think that most likely the market is bottoming at this time. Again, that's not a widely held belief. Everybody I watched this weekend in the market seems to be pretty bearish, saying, this is going to come up, put in some kind of lower high, and we're going to go take out those lows and continue. And maybe we do. But at least until that April 2nd date, maybe that is the day that we start to see the market actually start to go down. But I think that we've bottomed for the short term. And that's why I'm looking to take a potential trade. I think the risk reward still looks really good for the bulls. And one thing I've got to point out is that the NASDAQ is getting a bullish rating here on EdgeFinder. COT data came in real strong for institutional positioning, right? We saw big accumulation. We can actually pull that up. Let's take a look at our institutional positioning here to see what big money was up to. You can actually see they bought gold, they bought NASDAQ. COT data showing us just kind of the flow, the latest flow of money in and out of key charts that we all watch, right? So a little bit of accumulation in gold in the NASDAQ. So I am really interested in the NASDAQ. I already have a good bit of tech exposure here. Like I have a list of stocks here. You can actually see my positions. I'll show you. This is what I'm in right now. I bought a whole bunch of stuff, but if you notice the key thing here about what I bought, most of it is pretty risk on tech-centric NASDAQ stuff. So I bought things like Fortinet, PayPal, Uber, Airbnb, Nvidia, Google, Tesla, Amazon, Salesforce, Home Depot, and Intuitive Surgical. IGV is a trade for me. This is a software ETF. So if I do IGV, this is the sector ETF for software. I took this off of a weekly chart level. Huge level of support got tagged here, and I went long. This is definitely more of a position trade for me because this is, my stop loss is pretty wide. I do think I might trail that stop. If we get a nice breakaway move here, I'm probably going to trail that stop or just trim it to reduce risk on the position. In fact, I might actually do that today. But we've got a nice profit on this one. I'd like to see this thing continue to move higher. But yeah, software, good position for me. Nvidia, I'm back to break even after all this time, man. This is just crazy. Nvidia has gone sideways for a good chunk of the last year, but I was able to scoop up some more positions, averaging down here on my position in Nvidia. So again, looking really strong out of the gate here for the Nasdaq. Let's see how this week progresses. Let's see how today's candle looks. But I may actually drop down lower time frame, maybe look at the 4-hour chart and see if I can get a trade entry today on the Nasdaq. But looking really sharp, looking strong, like I said, out of the gate. If you'd like to see more of our free daily chart of the days, make sure to join our Telegram channel if you have not already joined. And if you are already in the Telegram channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up button to support our work. Also, quick reminder that if you're looking for free tools and free education in the trading space, head over to a1trading.com. You can check out our free technical, fundamental courses and much more.